What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Vitamin Lead, your healthy dose of leadership. I'm your host, TJ Reed. I hope that you had a great weekend. We are going to be talking about today, how do I take control of my morning? Recently, we went to the new Sesame Street land in Orlando with our daughter. My wife got this mug that says, "I'm a monster in the morning." And so my question to you this morning is, what does your coffee mug say in the morning? Does it say you're a monster in the morning? Does it say that you're intentional in the morning? What does it say about your morning with how you take control of it? And so it's one of the things that can so easily go into autopilot as a leader, but it's something that we need to desperately take control of, because the fact is you have as much control of your morning today as you want to have. For the last 2.5 years, my wife Jess has been waking up at 4:15 or 4:30 in the morning so that she could be intentional about her mornings, have time by herself before our daughter woke up around 5 a.m. or a little bit after that. And so if you've ever had a kid wake up, you know the dread of hearing their door slam or hearing them out in the hallway when you really wish you would have woken up earlier, or you just need a lot more sleep. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. How do I take control of my morning? So the first thing that I would say to you is start with sleep. I think that you take control of your morning the night before. This is something that we so easily overlook as leaders. And so for our daughter, right, we have a process of helping her to wind down so that she's not a crazy person when it's time to go to bed and just wants to be playing with us. We get the milk. We've taken a bath. We get the milk and we get the puffs, and we sit in our bed and we watch a really nice, calm, serene episode of Daniel Tiger. And by the time that episode's done, she is ready to go to sleep. And so are we as intentional with our own sleep as leaders? Do we have a wind down routine that we go through? Maybe that's why we struggle with sleep sometimes, right? I know that Bill Gates, no matter how long he's up or how soon he has to get up, he makes sure to set aside about 45 minutes to an hour to read every night. And so that's kind of his wind down routine, to get his brain moving down and not being so active as the night's going on. For me personally, one of the things that I found right around 19 years old is what's called sleep cycles. Have you heard of this? If you haven't, this is awesome. This is something that really helped me. And what it is that each of our bodies kind of has a normal rhythm of sleep that lasts about 75 to 90 minutes. So for many of us, we'll kind of be in that light sleep, and then we go into deep REM sleep, and then we come out of it. And we do that multiple times a night. And so for most of us, it's 75 to 90 minutes of that. And so if you begin to hack your sleep habits to follow that 90-minute cycle, what you'll find is if you wake up on the tail end of one of those 90-minute cycles, you'll actually feel refreshed as you wake up from that sleep. Now, I wouldn't recommend what I did in college of getting about 4.5 hours of sleep a night, because that was terrible. But whereas people would maybe recommend 8 hours of sleep, I found that 7.5 is actually a really, really helpful thing. And I often feel a lot better. Because have you ever slept in or slept a lot, and then when you wake up you go, man, I still feel just as tired or feel exhausted? The chances are it's because we forced ourselves to wake up right in the middle when we're in deep REM sleep of that sleep cycle. And so there is some sleep hacks that you can do to feel better about sleep. Let me encourage you to do it. Whether it's 4.5, 6, 7.5, 9 hours of sleep, try it and see how your body operates and how you can begin to wake up feeling a little bit more refreshed. One of the things that really impressed me was I read this book called Power Forward by Reggie Love, and he's what's called a body man for President Barack Obama through his campaigns as well as into the White House. And one of the things that I really admired about President Obama in those books was that he would get a regular amount of sleep each night. Even as President of the United States, even as you're campaigning in this crazy thing, he would follow regimens to make sure he was healthy through his sleep and through waking up and exercising and things like that. And so if one of the most powerful leaders in the world can do that, and so many do, why can't we? Is it because just bad habits that we've created? So start with sleep. Let that be the first thing. The second thing I would say is stop to breathe. Just like my wife Jess did, she woke up at 4:15 a.m. because she knew that she needed that time to feel good about her day, to be intentional and take a second to breathe. Some of the best leaders that you know are really intentional about what their day is going to look like. They stop to think about, how do I want to feel in that meeting today? What things do I want to say when I go to have lunch with that person today? And they're very intentional about walking through the deliberate steps of what their day looks like. So how often do we do that, right? I would encourage you to, if you want to get started on this, find a planner that'll help you to think through some of those questions. I think one of the craziest, most intense planners is the High Performance Habits Planner by Brendan Burchard. That one's intense. So if you're really deep into details, that might be the one for you. But there's plenty of them out there to really help you be intentional and think about your day. A free one is by Lee Cockrell. He's a former VP of Disney, and he has what he calls his morning magic planner, and it just asks you some questions to be deliberate about what you're going to do today. And so encourage you to check those out, some of the things that are available to you there. So start with sleep, stop to breathe, and then the last thing I would say is skip the choices. What do I mean by this? Predetermine things like outfit, predetermine food you're going to eat in the morning and what you're going to bring for lunch, and all of those things that it's easy to make decisions about. When you think about outfits, right, you think of somebody like Steve Jobs, who he had his kind of typical uniform. He would wear jeans and a turtleneck. You think about Mark Zuckerberg. He would wear the t-shirt and the hoodie. There's a reason that those people, that works for them. It's because they didn't have to use brain power on those types of decisions, and they could use them on much bigger decisions that they needed to make that day. And so let me encourage you, find what your uniform is going to be. For us at my current workplace, we would do things called Purple Thursdays. And so I knew that, hey, I have one purple shirt, so I'm wearing that purple shirt on Thursdays. But maybe you need to set themes for yourself to be able to help you kind of know what you're going to be doing next and what you're going to be wearing the next day or eating the next day. If you think about The Office, Jim Halpert in those early seasons, every time that he would be eating lunch, he'd be bringing a ham and cheese sandwich. And so I think it's so important to eliminate those choices if we can. But you know what? The cool thing is that you can deviate from it whenever you want. If you're anything like me, eliminating the choices work most days. But there's some days that I just got to do something different. I got to take a different route to work. I got to go pick up something else. And it just helps me to get away from those choices that I had already made. So start with sleep, stop to breathe, skip the choices. 2 bonus tips, real simple. I won't spend much time on these. But the first one is sing out loud. Read just a really interesting study of people that sing in the shower or in the car. It gives you positive hormones pumping through you, as well as it gets your voice ready to speak and talk throughout the day. And so consider doing that, singing out loud. And then the second one, it kind of goes with the third one that I gave you of skip the choices, is when necessary, swerve from the normal. If you find yourself getting in a rut and you're just really struggling or you're frustrated, man, go a different route to work. Go pick up breakfast. One of the things I did a couple weeks ago with my daughter, I just felt like I had been missing some time with her and was just kind of on autopilot in the evenings with her. So I woke up earlier, we got her ready earlier, and I took her to breakfast before she had to go to school. And that was an awesome thing because she said, "Daddy, I loved going on a date with you." Oh, how awesome as a dad. So taking control of your morning. It's up to you. You're as in control of your morning as you want to be right now. If you want some things to think on and consider, start with sleep, stop to breathe, skip the choices, and then when necessary, sing out loud and swerve from the normal. Everybody, this has been Vitamin Lead, your healthy dose of leadership. I hope this has been helpful. And remember, what's your mug going to say? Be intentional about it. What's your morning mug going to say as you pick it up tomorrow? You make the choice. Talk to you soon.